let's talk. Let's see what you think about this. You can tell that there are serious issues in this country. Recently, at a dollar store in Houston, Texas, there was an individual by the name of Troy Odom, who was 49 years old. He walked into the store, shoplifting. Antonio E. Batres, who worked at the store part-time, got into an altercation with this individual who was shoplifting from the dollar store. Apparently it was a physical altercation. The two no longer were fighting, and Troy Odom had his back turned as Antonio E. Batres took out a firearm and shot Troy Odom multiple times, killing him inside the dollar store. That's what happened. That's what's being reported to me. But what they're not telling you is the real story. First off, you know if you're coming into a dollar store shoplifting, things are really bad. You know that. I'm not sure why anyone would shoplift in a dollar store. Everything there is darn near $1. So nothing there is going to be really worth shoplifting for. Unless you're down on your luck. Or you have mental health issues. So, Antonio Batres is 21. You tell me what you think about this. He's a part-time worker at this dollar store. And he's been working there for 2 to 3 months. And somebody comes into your store shoplifting. You'll get into a physical altercation. Now you're trained as an employee not even to confront shoplifters. You're just supposed to let them go. But this is some Houston bullshit. Now I could see if this individual presented a threat. Like if he came in there with a gun or a knife. But remember, he's just shoplifting. There's nothing in that store that I wouldn't have let him shoplift for. I'm just telling you what we would have done. I might have even offered to pay for it. Say, here's $20. Buy some socks, toothpaste, toothbrush, soap, some snacks. It's not that big of a deal. But when you're inundated with media every night, telling you about how a police officer shot another unarmed African American, now you have the average citizen thinking they can do that bullshit too. And if Antonio Batres had been on the police force, they would have said it was a justified murder. But because he's a dollar store employee, he's been charged with murder. His bond was set at $75,000. And he's been in jail ever since. This just happened recently in Houston, Texas. You have so many avenues you can go down with this. Toxic masculinity. There's nothing from that story that would have led to an individual being murdered. Under any circumstance. Only in America can you walk into a dollar store and shoplift and not live to walk out. You know, he probably was like, this person is fighting and tussling over dollar store items. Things that are made in Bangladesh, where the Bangladesh women are paid 2 to 3 pennies. And then they charge you $1.10. Troy Odom is probably thinking, this is a clown. He's fighting to protect this bullshit. And see, this is where the toxic masculinity comes in. Antonio Batres was playing hero. I'm going to stop the beef. I'm the good guy, and you're the bad guy. You really got to stop this judgment that's happening. Because you don't know what anybody's going through with COVID. I always think now in terms of COVID-19. Were either one of these individuals vaccinated? Or were they both unvaccinated? 4 in 10 Americans are still unvaccinated. 6 in 10 Americans have been infected with the virus. 6 in 10 Americans are vaccinated. So you gotta stop and think what the story really is. And then you separate. And Troy Odom has his back turned. And Antonio Batres takes out a firearm and shoots him multiple times. Unheard of. Until police started doing it. And using qualified immunity to get off from doing it. Now he's got the rest of his life to sit in prison and think, I murdered someone over attempting to shoplift at a dollar store in Houston, Texas. You know how big Houston is. Millions of citizens live in Houston. And this 21-year-old murdered a 49-year-old male for attempting to shoplift in a dollar store. He could have offered to pay for the items that he was shoplifting. Upwards of $25. And you know, if it had been more than likely a woman, a female employee, a non-binary, somebody who identifies as LGBTQ+, you know, we would have just given the money to the individual. Because of the toxicity of men and masculinity, they have to fight over worthless items, like in the Squid Games in capitalism. Nothing in that dollar store was worth murdering that individual over. Nothing. Even if he had stole the whole store, which is impossible for one human being to do at one particular time. Dollar store would have just written it off. And got a tax exemption status for it. It really is sad and also insane to see the level that another citizen will put to another citizen to protect something that's dying. Yes, this is a prime example of capitalism, late stage capitalism, the death of capitalism. You've got a 49-year-old male shoplifting from dollar store and a 21-year-old part-time employee who's been on the job for 2 to 3 months murder scene. This is your country. You better know what's going on.